Hello, how are you? Today I brought you an amazing recipe. It works as an afternoon snack, dinner, or lunch. It's super versatile, quick to make, very affordable, and will please the whole family. You won't want to miss this, so stay with me until the end. First of all, if you're new here, welcome. Take the opportunity to subscribe to the channel because I have videos with tips every day. And also a new recipe every day. You won't want to miss it. And remember that ingredients, quantities, nutritional information, related videos, all of that is down below in our description, as always. Let's start our recipe, which is super easy to make, okay? You don't need a blender or anything special. I'm gonna mix 3 eggs here. Let me break the yolks real quick. If you're still concerned about cholesterol in eggs, I have a video here on the channel talking about that. I'll leave it down below for you as well. To these eggs, I'm going to add the grated carrot. Did you notice I grated it using a really fine grater so it turns out more delicate? So let's mix in our carrot here. I actually like to add the baking powder right away, so it mixes well, because otherwise you end up with those little lumps of undissolved baking powder in the batter, and that's awful. So mixing in the baking powder here. I'm also going to add the tapioca starch here. You can replace the tapioca starch with oat flour, chickpea flour, or even a lower carb option like almond flour. The only thing that will change is the consistency of the recipe. I really like tapioca because it provides a wonderful, more elastic texture to the recipes. It all depends on your goal and your needs. I'm going to add a little bit of green onion here to give it some flavor. And a little bit of salt to make the base of our dough here. When you make this delicious recipe, let me know in the comments how yours turned out. I love reading your suggestions and giving them hearts. Everything is already well mixed, see? And now we're going to move on to the filling. So let's go ahead and fill this delicious treat. Here, I'm going to add raw onion, finely chopped, because onion adds flavor, has fiber, helps immunity, all good things. I'm going to add the tomato. I removed the seeds from the tomato so it releases less water. So that's an interesting tip for you. Whenever you're making a filling, always remove the tomato seeds because that way it won't release so much water. And here I have sardines. And these are my sardines in olive oil. If you want to use fresh fish, you can. If you want to use tuna, you can use that too, or any other filling you prefer. But this filling here is amazing. Not to mention that sardines are super rich in omega-3, super rich in protein, and they're low cost, right? Because nowadays that's super important. So with everything mixed together, it already smells amazing, wonderful. And here I have my baking dish. I just want to show you that I greased even the sides here. So let's spread it out a bit more here because you know how it is, right? When we grease it, it's perfect, and then we wait a second and the oil starts to drip down again. So I'm lifting it up again here. And I'm just going to pour our mixture here into this baking dish. Really easy, isn't it? And give it a little scrape so we don't waste any of this deliciousness here. When you make it, by the way, let me know, because I'd love to see how yours turned out. Let's spread it out here. And now, to finish, I'm going to add a little bit of chia and sesame seeds. This will add even more omega-3, more fiber, and more vitamin E from the sesame seeds. Not to mention, it gives it that snack-like look, right? It gives it a nice different look with a special crunch. It's totally worth it. So we add it here. This part is up to your taste. I always really like to use chia in my recipes because of all its beneficial properties. But if by chance you don't have it at home and want to make it without chia and without sesame seeds, you can still do it. It'll work just the same. So now I'm going to put this delicious treat in the oven at 360 degrees. When I come back, I'll show you how it turned out and how long it took. Hang on. I'm back. It stayed in my oven for 17 minutes. In yours, check it between 15 and 20 minutes. The smell is amazing. Look how beautiful it is. Look, I'm going to take it out of here and cut a few pieces so you can see the inside. Hold on a second. Just look at this. I cut it into small pieces because my idea is for you to serve it as a snack, you know, like finger food. But it also works for lunch or dinner. It's a super light option. Serve it with a little salad and you have a complete meal. Tell me down below then, if you're going to cut it into little cubes, into individual pieces to serve as snacks or finger food, or if you're going to cut it into bigger pieces to have as your lunch or dinner. I'd love to see your comment. Share the video with someone you know will like it. Let's spread this good vibe and don't forget to give it a like, okay? That helps me a lot. See you next time. I'm going to cut it here to show you the inside. I'm also going to eat a little piece because I love sardines. I just can't resist. Look, see how soft it is and how delicious it looks. Even before tasting it, I already know it's delicious. See you next time. Bye.
Mmm.